Okay. Today's the 29th of December, and here it is. Probably the biggest video as far as importance that I've ever done. Pluto. Pluto, Pluto, Pluto. It's the second of the water signs that it rules, Scorpio. Scorpio rules the eighth house. Eighth house is the fall of the season where you must merge with others. That's what happens, and then develop your worth. So it's where you come to a way deeper understanding of what the outside world that you positioned yourself in here in this shell of a body, and that you are no way going to get to the understanding alone that you will with somebody else. So it's where we learn to get into relationships that are more than just surface. In the seventh house in astrology, it's Libra, where we must, we realize, all right, I need to find somebody. So you commit, right? Well, that's kind of, I don't look at that necessarily as the honeymoon phase, seventh house. But it's kind of like, all right, this is who I'm going to pick. This is who we're going to go with. The eighth house is where all the rest emerges in that relationship that you can't possibly see when the relationship and the initial phase of the relationship are established. The eighth house is where you see that person for who they are, and they see for who you are. And then how do you go about that? Pluto then comes in and rears its ugly head. I'm going to give you from my Bringing Astrology to Your World presentation. I am going to give you the definitions. I don't know if you can see that I wrote for the eighth house and its definition. I'm going to give you Pluto definitions. These are just one word, just sporadic, just so it can help you understand a little more of what it is. Pluto is the fixed water sign. Its transit is 248 years. One word definitions: death, regeneration, psychic, sex, orgasm, other values, greed, envy, self-mastery, soul lessons, deep-seated emotions, the investigative side, the hidden attraction to the non-physical, the digging up of and investigating the past, jealousy, court rulings, transformation, heaven, hell, inheritance, others, resources, intense, deep, penetrating. The investigators lie here. Nuclear weapons were created when we found this planet. War and, of course, destruction. A phrase I like to use here for all of us that deal with Pluto: if my devils leave me, I'm afraid my angels will take flight as well. The author of that was Rilke. It's the book was Life Feeds on Death and Death Feeds on Life. So that's Scorpio eight house definitions. And now I just threw some other one-word definitions on Pluto, and they're kind of the same, but this is from a planetary perspective. Death, destruction. What comes from death? Soul, pornography, orgasm, vulgarity, psychic, your deepest fears, destruction of Saturn's structures, transformation, underworld, crime, healers, teachers of transformation, gurus, life after death, life before death. It rules the male reproductive organs. Remember, I talked about that in the soul. So, in this part where Pluto plays a heavy part in our lives, we learn that we can't just go this thing alone. We got to merge with others, merge with the values of others and the shortcomings of others, as well as they have to merge with our values and our shortcomings. And so what happens here is, you spend your time digging and dealing with fears, and because Pluto is the soul, things that you've worked on, whether they're of value or of a detriment, realize themselves in this life through your inner workings with others. So you draw to you, this is my opinion, what you need. Pluto is the ultimate lesson teacher here. because it's kind of in the ironic phase of being a fixed water sign, water wants to flow, right? And this is almost where it freezes. You freeze, the water gets frozen, and you get stuck. You get fixed into your ways. So the best way to handle Pluto is to find middle ground and observe until you feel that you've come to a new perspective, a transformation, and then take action. Both are needed. You must take action with Pluto, but you also must observe. Any fixed sign, both are required. It's up to you to figure out which one. Problem early in most of our lives is that we take action when we should observe, and then we observe when we take action. And then guess what we do? We find ways to keep our soul journey in stagnant or frozen from where it was when we got here. We pick the lessons, in my opinion, of where it is we're going to go and what we're going to do this life. And we work them heavily through Pluto. Now, these lessons are deep-seated, so you don't get out over them in a minute, hence the slow transit of Pluto. These are methodical. They're ever-changing, whether you like it or not, but they won't be like shocking, instantaneous fixes unless you've done the work. Then you'll see the unwinding and the miraculous side of Pluto and how it helps you to then get back on your journey of the soul becoming wise. Now, this is like not a good stopping point for the soul, in my opinion, because we're in a physical world and water likes to flow. So Pluto is very intense for us here, and because it's mostly non-physical in its workings, it's hard to, when you have heavy Pluto in a chart or heavy transit Pluto, it's hard to put your finger on and maybe discover from the physical realm, which is what we're in here, to make people understand what it is you see and deal with. So, but if you work with Pluto and you work from that fixed perspective of observing and taking action, and you work both sides of that, and you stay in the middle and don't go to the extremes, you'll find that all is in order. Because Pluto, I believe Pluto is here to teach us that the universe has a way, nature has a way, and we're not above that. You know, we might think we are, but we're not. The times we're in now, Pluto in Capricorn, the last of the earth signs where we got to show how much we know, our big ego, our how just how much progress we've experienced, and as a entity on a physical plane called Earth, this is where Pluto, I think, does its most damage in the outside world that we can actually see. It destroys that which is not in line with nature. You've heard me say that 1,000 times. And so that's what we're seeing. Pluto's laid in the sign of Capricorn. It goes into Aquarius. I wrote this down. I screwed it up a little bit, but I'm going to bring it back up. It goes into Aquarius in March, I believe. Yep, late March, around the spring equinox. So we got huge changes coming now. Unfortunately, it does go retrograde and goes back into Capricorn in June 11th, and then it goes back direct on around October 10th, and then it goes back into Aquarius for about a 20-year run in late January 2024. So Pluto is bringing the destruction to that which I say mostly was created by man. Pluto also reveals the lies, and so the lies are coming. So the key here is, are you aware and are you doing your own research to figure out if you're being told a lie or if you're following along and you fell victim to the lies, and then you're living the lie that maybe this earth is trying to get you to live, so the certain powerful structures want to stay in control. That's up to you. I'm about self-empowerment. I'm about you have what you need inside. God is within all of us, and that you must be careful here, you're not God. I'm never claiming you're God, but he is inside, he or that power is inside of you, and it's a chance for you to discover, but you've got to do the research. So one thing that Pluto's doing to all of us is teaching us that if you're a headline reader, you're in big trouble. If you believe what has been fed to you through the media, you're in big trouble. And Pluto's teaching us all that now because you're following and going by what the structure in place wants you to. Probably not going to be good for you, is that you keep venturing here in the next year, 2 years, as Pluto goes into Aquarius, because Aquarius seeks the truth in its most direct form. So Pluto and Aquarius is going to be very interesting because the true universe workings and inner workings are coming, and you better get on board and start figuring that out. And that's the only way to do that is to go within from your own unique perspective. You can learn from others what is true and not what isn't true through others, also within yourself, and that'll help you. But you better wake up, and you better wake up now. Now, where Pluto's probably the biggest curse that I see is, and this is where I think I may lose some of you, and I'm fine with that, but this is my own discovery. But Pluto is a curse for a lot of women that have Pluto heavy, whether they're a sun sign or moon sign, or Pluto's heavy in an angular house 1, 4, 7, or 10. They seem to get abused for using their Plutonian energy, which is ingrained in them in this society, because they want to act like the male, because it rules the male reproductive organs. They want to act like the male energy, and then they may pay for that, or they may get abused for that. Now, the truth is the complete opposite, and I'm trying to describe this in the way I understand it, so I hope you take it and listen to it. But the truth is, if you're a female and you have heavy Plutonian or Scorpion energies, they're the same pretty much. One of the keys for you is going to learn to be not in charge, not in control, and to learn about, I'm not going to say you don't have to be in charge or in control, but give that up and trust that the universe will bring to you that which can help you become even more than you can with all those powers you brought with you, and go to that submissive or servant or nurturing side and take that and empower yourself there. What will happen, and I'm going to tell you 100% of the cases, is you're going to find there's power in not being in control, and maybe being to a degree submissive, being the nurturer, the supporter. There's extreme power in there, but you maybe in the past did not get the chance to understand that, or you got burnt by that. So now you feel like you have to control. Now, I'm not telling the males that have that heavy that they don't need to do that as well. If you're heavy Scorpion or Plutonian, you need to learn how to be submissive to a degree. That does not say you're meek and you give in, but where you can trust the universe and where you're using your faculties, you'll learn that allowing others to bring their gifts and their powers into what you're doing and along with you, and you work together, you become something so much more and so much greater than you ever could have on your own. Until you get to that point, you're going to have that power struggle of extremes of either taking control or giving it up, either being a victim or being the tyrant. So I hope that of all this video, I hope you understand that the most, because that's probably the key here. Now, if I want to go to the male side, the first of the water signs, Moon, which is feminine, it's tough for Cancer males. They then came with that female supporting, nurturing, like keeping everything together behind the scenes. They came with that energy powerful. So if you have Cancer powerful, Moon powerful as a male, you kind of don't appear to have that masculine male energy on the physical plane when you have that. Truth is, you're learning the opposite of what the female Plutonian and Scorpion females are learning. And so for you to support, nurture, that's going to bring you your greatest aha and your moments in this life, when you learn that, if you're in the male perspective. Now, if you're a female Cancer and a male Scorpio, yeah, they fit, but they still have those same lessons that need to be learned. Because Pluto's the soul, it's what you've known from all lifetimes. It's why you're good at things when you come into this life. It's why things come easy to you with certain things in this life on the physical plane or non-physical plane. It's because you've worked on that. You got that far. Now, sometimes Pluto, because it's so hidden, it takes you till you get older, and Saturn then comes into play. And I'm going to tell you, it's between 29, 35, and 42 that the awakening happens to that which you truly are, because you lived a life that in structure that you were put into by your choice and by the choice of the people around you, because they're learning from you like you're learning from them early in life. So a lot of times there's a delay before this Pluto thing gets actualized. Know that, because I know a lot of strong Pluto people or Scorpions that were early in life just totally like they just shut down and were quiet, but as they age, they really come into their own. So know that this is a slow, methodical lesson that learns. Now, lessons to be learned from a soul perspective. So if you're heavy Plutonian, you've done and worked on things, and you're really looking to transform this life. So you will. So where you came from and where you started and where you end, or you might feel you're misplaced early in life, you'll put the pieces together. I think that all of it is in order, and I think that that's probably the biggest lesson for a heavy Scorpion, heavy Plutonian person, is to trust that. The trust is something that got abused, and so you have to trust. So your biggest fears, and you have them, I don't care who you are, you can hide them all you want, they will emerge this life unless you're not going to evolve at all, and then you'll just stay stuck, but then you'll become the things that the heavy Plutonians that don't even want to face things become, which are addicts or what I want to say, addicts or dark or, victims. I think you stay in that realm. If you've been a victim your whole life, you're probably heavy Plutonian. You're way more powerful than you think. Easy for me to say I'm not living your life. I can't fix somebody, but I can tell you what I've learned. I pretty much lived the spectrum of Pluto in my life. It fell in my 7th house. I already talked to you about this. And it fell with Uranus. Uranus says we're finding the truth, buddy. And so that's what happened to me. 7th house is, and it's in Virgo, where I gotta find it. I ain't gonna stop. So it's interesting how that plays together and how it alters my life. I can change in a moment, and everybody said they didn't think it. They saw it coming, but they looked at all the clues. It was coming all along. I know that when I get to a certain point, I move on to the next thing. Astrology didn't become prevalent in my life till I turned 35. I'm 57, so I'm 21, 22 years in this thing. And it was a Saturn, cycle that I was heavily influenced by, and Pluto was there to go, it's time. I always knew something more. I understood, but I wasn't sure. And so I want you, and I hope that you can find yourself through this video and to help you manage this thing as you advance. Now, because Pluto is the soul, you'll be as afraid of things as one can get. But I can tell you, that's one extreme of this. And that's where the victimhood lies, the evil lies, darkness lies. But I can also tell you that on the other side, it's not necessarily light over there, because it could be dark there, but it is so miraculous that it'll drop you to your knees and almost like succumb to the creator of everything when the miraculous side of Pluto shows. Because it's hidden, it reveals things to you. Are you looking? Are you searching? That's the questions you need to ask yourself as you venture through this life. And it's never too late with Pluto. I've seen people young come to understandings of it. And I've seen middle age and I've seen old. And to me, they're all just as miraculous as the next. As you understand and deal with Pluto, you become that self-empowered, non-wavering energy that can gather from the universe what you need and become what the universe needs you to be. And to me, that's the miracle of Pluto. That's the quest here. Too many people want to lay claim or stake their claim to they know Pluto more than anybody else. I'll never do that. My ego's gone, man. Pluto and the ego, those two things together is a big fat problem. And I don't know everything, but I do know this. I'm willing to get better at it. I'm willing to learn more. And the more I know, the less I know. So, or the more I know, the less I understand, for the Don Henley song. How's that? That's one of my favorite, The End of Innocence. That's one of my favorite sayings in a song ever. And couldn't be more true. So, with that, Pluto in 2023, truth is coming. Are you going to go with the narrative that you've been inundated with? Or are you going to dig deep inside because you know something's not right? And are you going to figure out from your own perspective to then sort out what is right or where this thing can go? Because Pluto going into Aquarius is going to lead us to a wide open, wide awakening of how the universe really works. Not how we say the universe works, or we are the universe, or, I think we're connected with it, but the universe has a way, and we know this. And one thing I want to leave you with here, so I hope you stay till the end, is what Pluto taught me is nature is sensible, logical, and makes sense, okay? You could piece it together. If you look at it and observe it and apply yourself to figure it out, you can. What's the opposite of that is the other side, the victimage of Pluto, or the where somebody wants to have their power over you, and when you just give it to them and it's not in your best interest, is when things don't make sense and they're extremely complicated and you can't figure it out and you're not enough, and that's the other side of Pluto. And when that happens, it's by design. Somebody's something is trying to be over you, more powerful than you, saying you're not enough, and it couldn't be further from the truth. You have what you need, and so remember that. When things don't make sense, it's by design. Somebody did that on purpose, because the nature isn't put together that way. And every day I live, the more that gets proven. So I appreciate all the viewership. I want to know your Pluto stories down below. Your comments are getting way better because I'm getting to know my audience. I'm going to also put down below, I'm on BitChute and Rumble. I've had a couple ask, and I went ahead and did that. So I'm on BitChute and Rumble. It's I'll put the channel, I'll put the name on it below, and I hope you come there, because I'll put some other stuff on that maybe I don't feel like YouTube can will let me. I love YouTube, so don't think that I think it's negative, but the truth's coming. You need it. I need it. I need to know it from you, just like you're seeking it from me. So let me have what you know, because I'm just trying to get better, just like you. Thanks for listening. And hey, Happy New Year. Today's the 29th, so we're almost there. 2023 is going to be an unbelievable year, so let's get after it.